We're going to go to another quarterback who's doing
This
it
gonna
all.
be happier, Monica.
Listen, and he's doing it well, all right? Lamar Jackson closing the gap, absolutely, in the MVP odds, in the betting odds, with an impressive performance on Christmas Day versus the Texans. The Ravens now sit atop the AFC North. With 87 yards on the ground in that game, Jackson surpassed Michael Vick, shout out to Michael Vick, for the most career rush yards by a quarterback in the NFL history, 6,110 to be exact. Even more impressive, Jackson broke the record in just, count them y'all, 102 games.
Lord.
That's 41 less than Michael Vick played in his career. Coming back to you, Cam, because mobile quarterbacks is where you shine. Reaction to Lamar breaking this record.
First off, shout out to, Lamar, man. Congratulations on that. But there's something that I just thought about as I was saying to myself, hold on. What if Michael Vick had more quarterback design runs early on in his career? What if Michael Vick played in this era? Would that be something that could even be caught, Elle? Because when I look at Michael Vick play, growing up in Atlanta, I idolized this person. I spent my whole week's food to go to the book fair to get his poster.
They were so
I did. I had to finesse that. I had to do it. I'm going to teach y'all about that later on. Finessing and jigging is a real profession in Atlanta. But what happens when I watched Michael Vick was scrambles, broken plays, things that I was like, oh, wow, how did he get out of that? When I would see Lamar Jackson, especially with the, 40-yard touchdown, he said, I was jogging. Subtle flex.
Yeah, he went like 25 miles per hour, by the way.
Yeah. Those things isn't what the game was when Michael Vick played. So even though I'm extremely excited for Lamar, just to bring awareness that athletic quarterbacks can be game changers and difference makers in this game, only thing, that I'm just reminded is, what if Michael Vick had quarterback design runs?
Or if Michael Vick's career hadn't been cut short by, of course, the Chargers in jail time, right? And to me, that's why I love this story so much. First of all, I don't know if anyone's ever going to break Lamar's record. He's 28 freaking years old. We keep forgetting he's 28 years old. He could have another decade under his belt. Right now, the closest person to him, over 6,100 rushing yards, you said, for Lamar, is Josh Allen with 4,100. But the reason that I love this so much and that it was Mike Vick's record that he broke is because apart from someone like you, Cam, I think he is the closest that we've seen to Mike Vick. And also being an Atlanta person, you knew that everything that dogged Mike Vick, despite the escapability, despite the unparalleled athleticism, despite the fact he could throw 60-yard bombs on a dime, was the question of whether that was still the formula or the blueprint for a championship. Will it translate to a championship-winning type of quarterback? And to me, that is why, while I personally think Lamar Jackson should be the MVP because I think that he has proven himself to be that, it doesn't matter. Because what Lamar has got to do for all the Mike Vicks of the world is win that championship so that we can finally put that tired, exhaustive narrative to bed that someone that plays like a Lamar Jackson can win a championship.
Okay, so on that note, RC, is Lamar Jackson still the most underappreciated QB in the league?
I don't think he's underappreciated. I think that.
No.
I mean, right
he has two MVPs.
Right now, Lamar Jackson has two MVPs.
He has two MVPs.
The actual accolades say that Lamar Jackson isn't underappreciated.
Right.
Now, there's going to be the stupidity that's outside of the actual game, of the people who know what's going on the field, that's going to make you feel like he's underappreciated, right? The same way you felt he was underappreciated on draft night when we watched him lay on the table next to his mother, right? When the Baltimore Ravens had to move back up and probably make Ozzie Newsome's greatest pick of all time, of a second Hall of Fame sort of career. He was underrated when people ask him, hey, should you switch positions?
Correct.
But when we watch him on Sundays now, he's not underrated in any way. We all know who Lamar Jackson is. I believe what changes the entire narrative is exactly what Elle says, though. You got to go win the championship.
Right.
And the reason you have to go win the championship is because you are no longer underrated. Because we rate you perfectly where you are. We say you are on the tier right under Patrick Mahomes. Why? Because Patrick Mahomes has 3 championships. Exactly. In order for you to be in that sort of conversation, you have to go win one. And you have to go win one playing any kind of way. Whether it's the traditional Lamar way that involves his legs and quarterback runs, or it's Lamar Jackson being the pocket passer that we see now. But I do want to add one thing, because I know we changed the question, and I wanted to say something about this. And I want to say it to you, and I want to say it to Randall Cunningham, and I want to say it to Russell Wilson, and I want to say it to Michael Vick. This is the evolution of the position.
Yeah.
Without Randall Cunningham having to try to conform and be a pocket passer and also show his athleticism, we don't get to Michael Vick. And without Michael Vick accepting that and working to become a better passer, working to become a better leader, we don't get a Cam Newton. And if Cam Newton doesn't bring the style of play that he had the opportunity to bring from Auburn to the NFL and win an MVP doing it, we don't have a Lamar Jackson.
Correct.
See, we've needed at that position, because of all the negativity surrounding whether or not people like you can play it, we needed each of you to get to this point.
Yes.
And that's why we need Lamar Jackson to take that next step and hold that Lombardi trophy the same way we all cried when Doug Williams did it in the 80s.
Yes.
Shout out to Doug.
Preach.
Let me get my first round. Are you good?
Oh, man,
you just delivered. You just delivered.
That's the
Okay.
But I think that's the one thing, Cam, that when we talk about, I don't think that Lamar is underappreciated, but I do think that what is undervalued is, like, when we talk about Josh Allen and the mistakes that he's made, or when they lose in the playoffs, we always put that at someone else's feet. Early on in his career, right, it was like, oh, you know, he gets wacky, he turns the ball over too much. But like even last year, right, it's the Tyler Bass game, or it's the 13-second game. We always lay the Ravens' miscues in the postseason firmly at Lamar's feet. And we go, oh, okay, great, he's having another MVP year, yeah, whatever, but he needs to win the big one. And I think that is the part to me that is so frustrating, is that we don't even, we have so much apathy to greatness. Like what we're witnessing Lamar do this year, and I know Josh Allen has been absolutely fan-freaking-tastic, but Lamar Jackson has been a revelation, and the idea that it's like, yeah, whatever, he's got to win. He's the only one that we put.
Is that different? Is that different though than LeBron and Peyton? They were these MVP players, right? These MVP caliber players who didn't win championships. And I felt like we did sort of the same thing.
Well, some of that with Peyton, I think, was because coming out of college, he couldn't win the big game. So it was a little bit of a, you know, oh, like this carried over from Tennessee. But I don't know, and I could be wrong, I don't remember at age 28 us saying, will Peyton Manning ever win the big game ever? And we're already doing that to Lamar at 28 years old.
When I hear that question, most unappreciated, every time you talk about Lamar Jackson, something is always said after you say it.
But.
Yes.
Okay.
But you're right about that.
You on the same page.
You're right about that.
Yeah, but or
yeah,
man, he's fine. But
yeah.
And I'm saying, being a victim of a person whose gift can be your curse. Yeah, you did that in college, but it's the big leagues now. Yeah, you did that, you know, versus them, but yeah, you know, let's see how far that gets. We're used to seeing this game played by, you know, gods like Peyton Manning and, you know, Tom Brady and Drew Brees, masterful, you know. And what he's been able to do, you don't play this game as of high level as Lamar Jackson, as Michael Vick, and not be able to also attack the game from your neck up.
True statement. True statement.
Like some of my best content on 4th and 1 is football 1-on-1 when I'm explaining the game. And I see people in the comments like, man, bro, he made that seem so simple. It's like, bro, what the hell do you think I just
That's what I do.
That's what I do.
It's my job.
It's more, now the game has become so
Can I
athletic.
ask you a question though? Right, on the championship thing?
Yeah.
How do you think you would be perceived differently if you beat Denver in the Super Bowl?
Oh, man. I don't care now, but I just have another reason to bring this one up to give you a finger. You see what I'm saying?
Give you the finger.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I give you one right now.
That was supposed to go.
But I give you two of these.
There you go.
I let you choose my favorite finger out of this hand. But at the end of the day, I'm saying the game of football has become so athletic. When you got now defensive ends that are so mega, but also speed, power, and strength, that now teams are daring you, as they call it in the defense. We want to smell their breath. We want to see what type of toothpaste that they're using. That's how much man-to-man press that we're going, okay, you play man-to-man, now what? You got a guy, Lamar Jackson, that he's daring y'all to play man-to-man so that I can really attack. And you've been able to do that in ways that you can attack Peyton, you can attack Tom, you can really attack Patrick. to a degree, but he's not as much of a, stalemated person, and he doesn't get enough credit for his athleticism either.
Man, okay, so Producer Quago, don't be mad at me, but I want to hear y'all's answer on this because yesterday, obviously the Lombardi Trophy is the thing Lamar Jackson is going after. But we were discussing if a third MVP would be more beneficial to his legacy or if Josh Allen won this year. Because when you say underappreciated, to me, like, granted, we're not talking about the Lombardi.
Yeah.
But if this guy has 3 MVPs, like, to me, that...
Josh Allen's MVP would be like Charles Barkley's MVP.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, because I think right now what
yeah.
happens with people like Patrick Mahomes, with people like Lamar Jackson, is we get fatigued, and I think the voters get fatigued. And what happens is the MVP becomes a narrative-driven award, right? Every time you see the numbers put up on the screen, you can clearly look at those numbers and say that guy's having a better season than Josh Allen. Although Josh Allen is having a great season.
Yes.
Better than expected.
Josh Allen is having an MVP caliber season, but you win an MVP because you're better than everybody else.
Yes.
Right now, Josh Allen's not playing the quarterback position better than Lamar Jackson is. But it's going to be, well, Lamar Jackson has 2. Patrick Mahomes has 2. What is the other quarterback we count on that tier that's never won one?
Absolutely.
Josh Allen.
It's like giving Karl Malone, right, the MVP, because you could have given it to Jordan every single year, but people get tired of giving it to him.
Then we need to create a crusade to fight sports apathy. Fight sports performance apathy.
Good
because
luck.
what?
I mean, listen, Steve Nash got 2 of them things. You know that. Right?
Yeah.
And so, but that's the point. It's the narrative, right? With Steve Nash got the first one. He was coming from Dallas, right? And he goes to the Phoenix Suns. They're winning, and he's playing well, averaging a double-double, and everybody says, okay, give it to him, when Kobe was clearly the best player in basketball. And so I think sometimes you have that narrative. Coming into this season, the narrative was what? Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills wouldn't be contenders because he didn't have the skilled players around him.
Correct.
Now that he has elevated them, now that he has played well, we're looking at his statistics. We're looking at the fact that this team's in the fight for the playoffs and the number 2 seed, and you're going to say, okay, Josh Allen must have did all of these things. But stack the numbers up.
There go the numbers.
When you stack the numbers up now, and we also have to remember when we're talking about
numbers.
rushing touchdowns, the Buffalo Bills have adopted the tush push.
Right.
Right? So those numbers are going to be
inflated.
different. And I know what's going to happen. Everybody in Bills Mafia is going to be pissed off and say that I don't think Josh should be the MVP. I think Josh has had an MVP caliber season, but he hasn't played better than Lamar Jackson.
Josh Allen definitely, and I second that. But also, if you're going to give praise to that, you also have to give praise to Joe Burrow.
100%.
If you
Come on,
give
Burrow.
Joe Burrow 28 other defenses in this NFL,
Correct.
he is a doggone forefront for,
I agree.
for
They have 12 wins.
the MVP.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
That's all I'm saying. But Josh Allen is playing unbelievable football at that way where it's like, hold on, does he have enough? And he's making
He's making enough.
What they said on Friday, Mama, this ain't enough. Make it enough.